Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Another little baby reveal, but we're also going to go over what is left for Phantom Nightmare. We're going to talk about what we're expecting in the next couple of days, because let's face it, we're only 6 days away from this set being literally out in the OCG, which means we're getting 27 brand new cards between now and then. That's a crap ton, so we'll go over what we're kind of looking at there. But yeah, let's look here at the new card. This is Earthbound Fusion, another Earthbound card. We got not only all the Earthbound cards in original Animation Chronicle from last year, but then they started putting more stuff in core sets. So we got Geo Gremlina in the last core set, Age of Overlord, and now we have Earthbound Fusion coming out in Phantom Nightmare. Pretty interesting. I mean, it has some cool artwork here with the Earthbounds kind of swimming in a circle, bunch of chains. Looks badass. We're cool. But yeah, let's go. This is a quick play spell card. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. If there are no cards in the field zone, you can only activate this card during the main phase. Okay, so that's not much of a restriction, really, but it does keep you from being able to, like, do certain OTK lines. We've seen that with, like, quick play spells where you go attack, attack, quick fuse in the battle phase to make a third big monster, attack for game kind of situation. So, you know, that's cool. It's not that bad of a restriction. It almost makes you think you're about to read a really brutal restriction. Like, if there's no field zone, you can't activate this on the opponent's turn at all, but you still can. It's just main phase, so not a huge deal. First effect, fusion summon one dark fusion monster from your extract using monsters from your hand and field as material. Okay, that's pretty decently generic. There's obviously a handful of good generic targets out there. I think probably the most important one may just be Chimera, because he's a dark, so this is just another quick play fusion that can just make him on the opponent's turn to pop multiple cards, draw multiple cards. You know, he's a pretty oppressive card there. So that's probably the single most important, like, generic option, but I think most of the time this is going to facilitate just some Earthbound stuff. Second effect, during your main phase, if there is a card in the field zone, you can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon one Earthbound monster from your hand or graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except fusion and synchro monsters. This is a pretty good follow-up effect. Just special summon one back. I mean, there are a lot of effects like this that add monsters back, but the fact that it's special is even better. Some of the new tiny Earthbound monsters, one of them says, like, on normal or special, like, add a level 3 or lower. No, not, am I thinking the wrong one? One of them specials another one straight from the deck. One of them searches another one. And one can be pitched from hand. I can't remember which one that is. But regardless, that's, like, you're going +1 off of this because you're just getting the monster back and then getting another, like, piece from it most of the time. So it's a pretty good follow-up play. Now, you do need a card in the field zone, but that's not the biggest deal, because if you had resolved this card, you probably summoned the Geo Kraken, and the Geo Kraken searches any field spell. So hopefully you would just have one. Or there's always the possibility that even if your opponent was able to keep you from resolving Kraken or remove your field spell, or they could just be playing a field spell deck, a deck that plays a field spell. They're very common these days, and yep, them just having one because it's just the field zone, not yours. You can just summon back one of your Earthbounds and then still do the same thing. So that's a really nice bonus effect. I like that quite a bit. The fusion is just pretty cut and dry. It's pretty unimpressive, to be honest. I mean, listen, we saw fusions lag behind for a long time at the beginning of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because every fusion spell was just a fusion spell. It was just polymerization for a long time, and if all of your stuff doesn't, like, super plus or float when they're used as material or summoned or whatever, it's hard to actually, like, get enough value out of, like, fusion summoning. So that's really some of my trepidation. Also, some of my reservations about this card is it's Earthbound Fusion, not Earthbound Immortal Fusion. I don't even think this card is searchable at all. I looked through all the Earthbound cards. You have, I believe there's a card that searches Earthbound Immortal spell or trap cards. There's multiple cards that search Earthbound Immortal monsters or Earthbound monsters, but not spells and traps. The normal Earthbound spells and traps are, like, not that searchable in this archetype at all, which really hurts this card. Plus, the deck already plays like their crazy like synchro fusion card, where they're able to synchro and fusion at like the same time, which is just inherently like way more powerful than this card, even though this card has the nice follow-up effect. So it's just okay to me. It's just fine. Also, I didn't even say, this card says any Earthbound monster, so that even means some of your fusions, synchros, even big Earthbound monsters, you can summon those back too. I use the best follow-up example as one of the little guys, but if you ended on like Geokraken and your opponent removed it by sending it to grave, you could just summon it back off of this card. So that's nifty. I didn't even say that. But yeah, I think the fact that it's not super searchable in the deck, and it's just like a regular fusion where you got to throw 3 cards away just to get 1 monster, is going to be tough. So we'll have to see if this bonus effect getting you back a resource, which is nice, as well as the fact that it's like a quick play, is enough to kind of still give this card playability in the Earthbound deck. But hey, they gave him a card last set, they gave it a card this set, maybe they're still not done. I've heard when the Animation Chronicle stuff came out that they were still missing multiple cards, so maybe there's still more stuff on the horizon to really help push them there. But to me, my overall impression of Earthbound is like, it's cool, it does some really cool nifty things, but it feels like it's just completely outclassed by Chimera and Branded. It just feels like the 3rd best generic fusion engine, going on there. Or maybe not even 3rd, there may be some other ones it's competing with too, but yeah, it's just okay. So anyway, let's finish up here by going over the stuff we're expecting, because I think this live stream might be tomorrow. I haven't seen too much about it, and I honestly haven't researched it too much. That's not that important, but we know we're going to get it in the next 5 days. Looking at the stuff we're missing from this set, there's 27 cards we're still missing. I'm assuming we're going to get like 15 of those in this live stream, probably. Something like that, leaving us with like the 12 final cards for, that are going to be the filler cards. There's usually like 2 or 3 really spicy filler cards that are pretty interesting. So anyway, we have 2 cards right at the beginning. This should be a pretty cool legacy support here, because there's 2 like spell slots that might correspond with these as well. I'm expecting these to be both for the same archetype, but we'll see. This should be legacy support as well, because it's between the Silent Force stuff and the Magispector cards. So this should be another legacy support here. This could also be a legacy support, but it's also possible it's just a filler card. We'll see. So these should be filler monsters, kind of some generic stuff, maybe some specific stuff. We'll see there, and then all of these slots. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, maybe 10 of these monsters will be like filler generic monsters. But this is also the perfect slot for them to slide in a new generic, metagame monster, hand trap, that kind of thing would kind of slide in here most likely. So keep an eye open for that. We move here. We definitely have a new fusion monster. No idea what's going on there, but that's going to be a new fusion. This would be a brand new synchro. These 2 slots could be synchros or XYZ monsters. Very, very excited. Actually, they should be synchros, I think, because yeah, I think they should be synchros. Could be. I guess they could be either. I'm thinking about it now, which is cool. 2 more Exceeds or synchros. This one could be an Exceed or a Link. Very curious on that. This one's definitely a Link. So 1 to 2 links. What is this? This is 1 to 3 Exceed monsters. There to finish up, we get to the spells. These should be spells that correspond, I believe, with those 2 open monster slots right at the beginning of the set. So I think one wave of legacy support is going to be pretty big. I think last time for Age of Overlord, we saw TGs got like their, whatever they got like 6 or something new cards. I think we're going to see that for an archetype, a pretty beefy wave. Hopefully it's something, people want to see. Then we move here, another spell. This should be legacy support. I believe this would be for the same archetype that was right next to Magispectors up there. So it's probably get a monster and a spell here. Get down here. These could be spells. These could be generic spells, like filler spells, or could start more traps. I think they'd probably be spells, though. And then you have 3 more traps finishing it up. This one should be legacy support for something. This one could be legacy support, but could be generic. And then this one's most likely generic. There. So that's the breakdown. It's hard to say because obviously nothing's fully revealed, but hopefully in the next day or 2 we'll get that live stream and that big drop. If you know when that is, please drop that in the comment section down below. Sometimes it's hard for me to like follow along with like Japanese news because it's like not super out there when it's always happening. So Yeah. Let me know your thoughts down below on that stuff. Let me know your thoughts down below on Earthbounds and this new fusion card, and where you land on that, as well as what you're pumped for these final reveals. I'm bringing you those this week, and then I'm obviously getting right into Age of Overlord stuff. Haven't done profiles in a while because I've like run through so many decks that I was interested in, and now I kind of have to wait for new stuff to really want to jump in with more profiles and stuff like that. But I think this set has enough excitement for me that I'm going to get back into that. So yeah, let me know what's going on. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.